Hey people, I just want to quickly show you my microphone that I use for my YouTube videos and for my streams over on Twitch. This is the Elgato Wave 3. It's a really good mic, and it's very simple to use as well, especially for someone like me, right? Now, what I like about it most, right, it's got very easy and clear sort of functionality on it. Now, you can have a nice little mute button there by tapping the top, as you see me do. You got the nice, easy to use dials at the front there to control all the volume and the gain and all sorts of other stuff there. You've got a nice little pop filter on the front there for hygiene reasons, so if you're getting a little bit salty, you got that shield in the place right there. And behind here, we got the USB-C connection, right? So that goes into there, and then it goes into USB on your computer, right? Or your laptop, or wherever you're going to be plugging it, right? A very simple design, very high quality sound, and super easy to use. If you do want to check this one out, I will leave a link in the description of the video. I highly recommend this microphone, and of course, all the other products as well. All right, let's get into the battles. What's up, it's you? For today's video, with my full Espeon team. I'm on a espionage mission, if you know what I mean. Vegeta, this one is for you, man. Thank you very much for being a Patreon. Now, we've got 6 Espeons here with 6 different sets. I've done every single evolution times 6 Pokemon team, which is really cool. If you want your own custom theme team or Pokemon sweep, you can check it out at patreon.com/PrintMate. Link is in the description of the video, tier 2 and above. Today, I've got 3 battles here, and they were absolute bangers. I really hope you enjoy them. So there were some I did on my stream, and there were some I did on the Ycom too, so a little bit of a mix today. The first battle here, this one's against Skylar. We've definitely never battled before, and we got a very cool theme team here. I want to see if you can guess what it is, so drop a comment in the comment section below. So we've got a Sigilyph lead here. I've got, wow, it's Espeon. This is my Espeon number 3, so this is a Mimic Protect Expanding Force Zap Cannon set with max speed and max special attack Timidnatron. So going for that Zap Cannon there, and Sigilyph gets dropped in one shot. I didn't even think I'd land that one. Now, the item on this is Focus Sash, so I can go for a Mimic and, you know, take hit, then use the Mimic move, if possible, right? So the idea, right, if you want to use Mimic, the best move to use with Mimic is Protect, right? Because you can go for Protect, see what move they're going to use, and then if you want to copy it, you can go for Mimic. If you don't want to copy it, you can go for another move, right? So we got this Swoop Bat that's going to be outspeeding me here with the Air Slash, right? I'm going to be mimicking the Air Slash on my Espeon, so Hacker Exposed, right? Now, I thought this would work very nicely with Zap Cannon, because if I could land the Zap Cannon and not one hit KO the Pokemon, I could paralyze them, and then I could go for the flinches. It would be quite a trolling set, right? And I definitely wouldn't do trolling things like that, right? I'm definitely not like that. So we got the Swoop Bat going down to another Zap Cannon in one shot. Wow. This thing's popping off right now. So that's 2 Pokemon down, so a very good start to the battle. Next Pokemon is Mandibuzz here, and we got a Dynamax Mandibuzz. I'm going to say I really don't blame them for Dynamaxing their Pokemon, especially due to what sort of typing they're using on their team, right? I've landed 2 Zap Cannons already. I think another Zap Cannon will possibly take Mandibuzz out in one shot. Like, if it's a sweeping one, definitely. If it's a thick one, it's still going to do a heap of damage, right? Now, Nasty Buzz is going to be real nasty right here, because I won't be able to flinch it while it's in Dynamax. I was hoping to do that with the Air Slash, and now it's going to go for a Max Darkness on my Espeon, and I'm going to get one shot there. But man, Espeon 3, man, that did absolutely crazy. Like, it was landing them Zap Cannons all the time, right? Next Pokemon we got here, well, it's Espeon again. It's Espeon number 5, right? Now, this set is a Trick, Zen Headbutt, Retaliate, and Iron Tail set with a Choice Spam. I've got on this one Jolly Nature with max attack and max speed, right? So I went for Retaliate. Doesn't really do a lot of damage to a Mandibuzz and Dynamax. And, you know, Espeon's attack stat isn't the greatest in the world, but it is what it is, right? It's not like I could do much against this Pokemon. It's super effective against my whole team. So now we're going to go into Espeon 1 here. Now, this Espeon 1 set was a Future Sight Trick Ring Target set with Protect and Substitute. This was max speed and max special attack, right? What I wanted to do, right, is throw the sub up. I could have almost done this earlier on. I'm going to throw the sub up here, right? And then what I want to do is I want to trick the ring target to the Mandibuzz. Since it's dark typing, that'll allow me to use psychic types on dark types, which is pretty cool, right? And Future Sight, it's really hard. Quite difficult to do, right? Because you got to go for sub, and then you got to go for trick, right? And usually you got to take like a couple of hits. And Espeon really isn't the most bulkiest Pokemon in the world. It's speedy, but it's hard to take hits against a dark type, right? Usually dark types are one-shotty or two-shotty. So swapping the items around, I got a Waycam Berry and I gave the ring target away. We got the Roost coming from the Mandibuzz there. So that's good, but it's bad at the same time because the Mandibuzz is all the way back to full health. Now what I can do, right, is I can go for a future sight, and Mandibuzz's future hopefully isn't going to be very bright. So now it's going to go for a Dank Pulse on my Espeon, and that's going to hit me very hard, and Espeon 1 is going to go down. Man, I've lost half my Espeon on this team so far. I've got to take this Mandibuzz out, right. Now we're going to go into Espeon 6. This is a troll set, and this is Swagger, Power Swap, Psychic Fangs, and Payday. Got to get that bread, people. So what I want to do first, right, is I want to go for the Swagger. The idea of this set, right, is to swap the stats around. So I'm going to be giving the Mandibuzz +2 on attack and confusing it at the same time. Hopefully the Mandibuzz will hit itself with confusion and not hit me with Dank Pulse. And it does. That's really, really good. Now what I'm going to do is go for the power swap there and swap the stat, change it around. So this swaps the special attack and attack changes it around. So I'm going to get that +2 on attack, right, and I can go for a physical Espeon. Now, unfortunately for me, the Dank Pulse hits me pretty hard, but I'm able to tank that, which is very, very good. Now the Mandibuzz is going to get hit by the future side, and now I can land a Psychic Fangs against it as well, and Mandibuzz is going to be going down. Man, that worked out so well there. The ring target was clutch, though. I mean, I would have had a little bit of trouble with taking that out with Payday, right? Now, the next Pokemon to come in here is Skarmory. Once again, Steel types and Dark types are really good against this team, as you can probably imagine, having all Psychic type. And there wasn't a huge amount of coverage, especially on, if you weren't using like a typical Espeon set. Even then, there's not a huge amount of coverage for Espeon against Dark types outside of like Dazzle and Game, right? So go for a Payday here. Got to get that bread sometimes, people, and hoping Skarmory is going to hit itself in confusion, right? Then I can continually keep going for Psychic Fangs and try and take this thing out. Unfortunately, Skarmory is going to have Steel Wing, and it's going to take my Espeon out. Man, that's no good. I've only got 2 left. However, I still do have a Dynamax Espeon left, right? Now, this set is Espeon 4. It is a Hyper Voice, Dazzling Gleam, Grass Knot set, and with Psyshock too. So sort of like a mix attacker there with the Psyshock. I've got the item as Hyper Voice here to boost up my special attack. And it's pretty similar to just a normal like build of an Espeon sweeping set. Max speed and max special attack with the Timid Nature. And it hits really, really hard after that boost, right? So I can go for any real move here on the Skarmory. Either move isn't going to take it out. So I just went for Psyshock. And hoping the Skarmory will take itself out with the Confusion, right? Unfortunately, it's going to be able to get through all that and go for the Steel Wing. I hang on 69 health there. And I can take it out with the Hyper Voice. Man, that was really, really close there. I felt like Espeon should have got one-shotted by Steel Wing there. Maybe I got min damage. Maybe that was lucky. Next Pokemon here is the Unpheasant, which might be very unpleasant. So go for the Psyshock on this Pokemon. I wasn't sure if I could one-shot it. Boy, I was close though. I was so close. Then they popped the Giga Impact Normal Gem Unpheasant. Very unpleasant, and it lands on my Espeon. I feel like, you know what, I'm going to say this right now. If all my Espeons hadn't fainted, after that, they would have all fainted. So I've got 1 more Espeon left here, and we've got 2 more little birdies to go. Now, I've got Espeon 2 here. This is a Curse Morning Scum Zen Headbutt Last Resort set. So with Last Resort, if you don't know, you got to use all your moves first, right? Even, obviously, if you swap it out, you got to do it all again, right? And even in Dynamax, it doesn't count either. So I wanted to get some boosts up in defense here. This was max health and max special defense here with the, I believe it was Sassy Nature, or it was, no, it wasn't Careful, it was, I think it was just Sassy. I didn't really bother too much of speed because I was dropping it anyway with Curse, right? So this is Leftovers as his item on there. And really, it's quite bulky on the special side. It is. Espeon's got pretty good special bulk, but its defense is trash, right? So I couldn't really afford to let this thing hit me with another Giga Impact, so I just took it out with a Zen Headbutt. Now what I can do, right, I can use Last Resort if I use Morning Scum, right? I've got to use Morning Scum once, though, and then it'll allow me to use Last Resort. Now, the last Pokemon is a Sweat set. Oh, no, it's a Sweat set. I'm going to get destroyed right now. So I thought I could go for a Galaxy Brain Max Mindstorm here and hopefully take it out, or maybe just put it into Fetus range. I really wasn't really like sure what sort of set this was going to be, right? It might be a sweat one. I think it could be a troll name though. You never know, but you never know when you verse my audience. A lot of the time, right, I get trolled. It's not very nice. So go for Dynamax Espeon there, and I can go for the Max Mindstorm. I've got a little bit of an attack there. Here comes the Stone Mist. It really doesn't do a lot of damage because I am Dynamax and I've got +1. I think it actually is a Sweat Set. So Sweat Set is going to take a lot of damage there, and it's in Defeatus range right now, and I've got the Max Mindstorm flowing nicely on the field. Now, the thing about this, it's got a berry, right? And it's going to be, instead of a citrus berry, it's going to be a Lancet berry. I was like, wait, if I get critted, this will do a lot of damage. However, there is Defeatus though, and here comes the Acrobatics. It does absolutely nothing. I think I would have probably lived the crit really badly because of the Defeatus ability, but I wouldn't have liked to see the result of that. Thank you very much, Skylar, for the battle. Did you guess what the team was? Leave it below in the comment section of the video. And very nice battle there with the full Espeon team. Now, let's get on to a battle number 2 here. This one was a battle against Vegeta. He won the battle his same team, so I thought I'll give the man a go. Now, this also was a same team as well. You should be able to guess what this is. I'll probably just give it away halfway through it anyway. So the first Pokemon we got here is a Flareon. So we got a evolution battle here. Now, this set was this is my Mimic set, right? So I wanted to see what move the Flareon was going to do, right? And it's going to go for Protect Yourself. We both use protection. We both went to sexual education at school. So, we've both got protection up, right? Now, the Flareon is poisoned. It's a gut set. Zap Cannon lands again. What? I can't believe this is landing so much, and it is going to be going for a Protect and Last Resort. I'm going to be living on 1 health there. The merchant available. And what I'm thinking about doing, right, if I go for a Protect this next turn, it'll get another round of toxic damage, and then it might be in range for another Zap Cannon. It's going to be really, really close. If I land the Zap Cannon, of course, I feel like I've used up all my luck with this Espeon and the Zap Cannon, right? So last one's going to hit the Protect there, and it's going to take a little bit of damage there from the Toxic Orb that the Flareon is holding. I think it's going to be able to, take it out. I land the 4th Zap Cannon there, and the Flareon is going to live due to its nice, bulky special defense there, and it's going to take me out a Last Resort. However, the toxic damage is going to take out the Flareon too, so it was a double KO at the start of the game. Man, it was a draw for the Espeon and Flareon. I'll give you guys a question of the day too. I don't normally do this. Out of all the evolutions, which one is your favorite one? Mine is Umbreon here, so what one is yours? You can leave it below. So next Pokemon here is the Bunnable. This thing can be quite scary. I've run a pretty interesting set on this one too. So I think it actually may be this one. So we got an Agility Bunnable. It's going to be reasonably fast up there. It's not super speedy, but it's reasonably speedy up there. It's going to be another Last Resort set. Yes, this is a full Last Resort Pokemon team. Espeon's going to absolutely trash by that, right? Next Pokemon is the Espeon 6 here. Now, this was actually the set that Vegeta did actually suggest for me to use, so it's quite funny actually be able to use it against him. So we got another agility here from the Bunnelby. That's going to be really, really fast right now, even with its average speed. I'm going to go for the Swagger here. I want this thing to hit itself for confusion and one-shot itself. At least I hope, right? That's what the idea was, right? And we're going to get the Future Sight hitting really hard there, taking it all the way down to its slash. So this was a set I used in one of my videos. I think it might have been the Bunny Rabbit team. I think I did it like a month or so ago. It was recent anyway, and what you do, right, you just go for agility, then you go for Last Resort with huge power, right? It hits hits pretty hard, right? It did struggle a little bit against Dynamax Pokemon, but boy, it was pretty nice, right? So we're going to bring in the next Espeon here. If this actually goes down, I'm going to bring in my next Espeon, the bulky one, and actually Dynamax to live the Last Resort. However, they're going to go for another agility. This could actually be able to outspeed Regieleki now, and it's going to be going down to the Hive Voice there. So I could have possibly lost my next Espeon there and been fought. I definitely would have had the Dynamax next turn. Like, that would have been a desperation Dynamax. Now, I've got my Throat Spray up here. The next Pokemon is Kangaskhan. Now, I'm thinking, what would go well with Last Resort set? It's like, Fake Out, Fake Out Last Resort. Now, since it's got Scrappy, right, it'll be able to land moves against Ghost, which is pretty cool, too. So, outspeeding, go for the Side Shock on the Kangaskhan, and I dropped it in one shot. I was like, wow, that did a lot of damage, and then I send the crit. I was like, that makes sense. So, I was lucky there. Very, very lucky. Kangaskhan would have been, a pretty scary Pokemon too. Next Pokemon here is Sylveon. Now, I've seen this set before, and you might be able to remember this set in one of my videos. And, of course, I've seen this Pokemon set in, would have been one of our other battles, right? It was a Baby Doll Eyes Last Resort Pixelate and Pixie Plate. I'm getting my Pixies mixed up, man. These peas. Anyway, so we got Dynamax on the Sylveon. I thought they may go for a... obviously, before using Last Resort, you got to use an attack, right? So I swapped into my Espeon with the Magic Bounce in hopes that they go for it, then I could bounce it back, but it didn't work. They went for Max Guard instead. I was like, oh man, that sucks. So anyway, I went for a tricky. I gave it a choice spam. Now, on the surface, this is a really, really bad idea because it now can spam Max Starfall, you know, and that's going to do heaps of damage. However, outside of Dynamax, it actually won't be able to do anything right because, you know, it can't use Last Resort because it can't use its status move, right? And if it uses a status move, it can't use Last Resort because it's locked into the choice band. So, sort of thinking about the future of this battle in that play right there, but it's going to cost me a fair bit here, so I'm going to have to go for my own Dynamax here. Now, this is the bulky Espeon, I believe it or not, and I had to either attack this or go for a Max Guard. I really didn't feel like taking a Max Starfall to the face with a choice band, right, you know? It's pretty scary. Now, actually, that's it. The last time I battled this, I believe it was in my Sylveon team, the 6 Sylveon team. So here comes the Max Guard from Espeon number 2 here, and we're going to block that Max Starfall, which is good, because that would have dropped me in one shot easy, you know? Easy there. Well, we've done like a lot of damage, right? Now out of the Dynamax, it can't do anything at all. I mean, that choice item wouldn't have done anything in Dynamax anyway. It was more for when it was outside of it. So going for a Max, that was a Max Starfall. No, not a Max Starfall, a Max, a normal type move there. And I'm going to drop the speed on the Espeon, right? Which is good. And that's going to be very, very nice. Now I can go for a Max Mind Sword. And that's not going to do a lot of damage, but it is going to put the Psychic Terrain on the field, which I thought would be good. Getting rid of the Misty Terrain is also going to be handy there as well. So that's nice. And I've got one more turn on my own Espeon. They cannot do anything here. They're locked into Last Resort because remember, even if you use, say, the status move, which was, I think it was Baby's Eyes in Last Resort, it doesn't count towards you using a move. So you got to use it outside there. So that's why I tricked them the item, right? Because that would effectively shut the set down, save if they went for Dynamax, which I did. So Last Resort is going to do nothing. They're waiting for me to take them out here, but I'm not right. I want them to actually faint with Struggle. Like, that's the sort of person I am. I've got to see that Salt right. However, they're going to be swapping out that, and they're going to bring in the last Pup right. Stoutland actually looks pretty nice shiny. So setting up some more curses there, and I really actually need to do that because this thing hits really, really hard with Last Resort. A good physical attacker of Stoutland's got some decent attack and decent speed. It's going to be a Leah Last Resort set. I like that. However, the Magic Bounce is going to bounce it back onto the Stoutland, which is actually going to benefit me. So go for another curse here. I've got a couple of them up now. Plus, I got a negative on this Stoutland's defense, right? So I can actually go for my own Last Resort here, which will be amazing. Like, I think I'd be coming up against like a Last Resort team and making use of my own, right? So here comes the Last Resort on my Espeon. It still does a whopping amount of damage considering how much, bulk this set actually has. And I went for my own, and Stoutland is going to get dropped there. Now, there's one Pokemon left. It is the Sylveon from earlier on. Now, this actually went for quite a few turns, right? I feel like Nintendo definitely made the 20-minute timer to troll me. They definitely did, like all my mean little things that I do to people. So, before that happens, right, we got a Blissey coming in. And this Blissey is going to use Minimize. I was like, Minimize Last Resort Blissey. That's actually kind of mean, right? Blissey's got about 2 attack, though, so you don't really have to worry about the damage. It's more about actually landing attack right. So I went for Morning Scum there just to get my health back right there. And it doesn't have 2 moves, it's got 3. So it's got Minimize and Softball and Last Resort right. But you have to use all the moves right before Last Resort. So that's actually quite an interesting set. I may even bring that one if I ever do a full Blissey tape. Now the last Pokemon here is the Sylveon. It can't do anything. And as I said, I had to cut all the turns out where I kept using Curse to PP stall their Last Resort out. And they went down to a salty struggle there. Thank you for the battle, man. A very cool team. A Last Resort only team. I actually might do a team like that in the future too. Like, since you can, a lot of Pokemon actually learn Last Resort, and you can do like a lot of different strategies there. I think I would have been in a lot of trouble if the Bunnelby kept attacking me instead of using Agility that last turn. I would have had to force me to Dynamax that Espeon, the bulky one. And it would have been quite nasty if I had to rely on like my last one. But a very cool battle and cool team then. Next battle and final battle. This was on the Wycombe. This is against Tommy T. Tommy T, if you're watching this battle, man, hope you enjoyed my trolling. So we got an Espeon lead versus an Espeon. Now, this Espeon was such a pain in the ass, right? It was a light clay reflect and light screen set. I sort of knew what it was going to be before they used that move, right? So they got the light screen and they got the reflector. Now, the only good thing about tricking that item was the reflector is going to last for 5 turns, and the light screen, unfortunately, is going to last for 8 turns. But after that, if they do try and set up any more, it's only going to last for 5 turns. Now, what they're going to do is swap out the Espeon and go to Scizor. Now, Scizor's actually really good against my team because, obviously, due to typing, and really, I don't have much to hit it with if you think about what my sets were, right? So I thought, okay, my best and only play here is to go for Protect and go for Substitute, right? I've got to stall out that Reflect and Light Screen. It's way too long, right? And with my poor damage output on all of these Espeons, I've got to get rid of those screens, right? So I thought, I'm going to go for a double Protect here. I mean, I was hoping to get a 4 Protect like that Blissey kid, but, you know, obviously I'm not lucky enough for that, right? So here comes the Dual Wing Beat on the Scizor next turn. I'm definitely going to try and get some more damage on this thing with another Future Sight, but I thought I can definitely live the one Dual Wing Beat. It's whether I can live like another one. I'm very doubtful of that, right? So anyway, go for another Future Sight here, and obviously Scizor is going to resist that, right, due to the light screen being up. But I thought if I can maybe stall the light screen out and land one attack against it, not under a light screen, it should do some pretty good damage, judging on how much I did there. So the second Dual Wing Beat gets past my sub and almost takes him out. It was very, very close there. The Reflector's gone. So I was like, okay, I got to get as many Protect up here as possible. I may as well use it as much as possible here against the, bullet punching Scizor. Just the usual Scizor set, nothing, special and out of this world, right? So I went for another Protect. It's going to fail. That's fine. I got 2 in a row earlier, so that's how it was, right? I was lucky to get that. So Espeon is going to go down. Now, the annoying thing here, right, I got the Future Sight to hit it, but the light screen actually ends at the end of the turn. It would have been great if I could hit it before the light screen, but that's just how the sort of order of moves go, right? So we got the next Espeon here. They're going to go for a Bullet Punch there. It does so much damage. Obviously, Scizor's a very good Pokemon, and Espeon's defense is trash. I'm going to go for the Hyper Voice here, and Scizor is going to go down. Now the opponent doesn't have any screens to hide behind, and I can actually do some somewhat decent damage to them with a +1 in special attack. But I knew it before they sent it out. I knew they'd send their Espeon out here. I was like, okay, they're definitely going to try and get some scummy screens up here. I don't think I can stop them sending at least one of them up, but I might be able to two-shot this if I go for a Dynamax. Max Strike on Hyper Voice is 130 base power, right? So I should be able to take this out in 2 hits, right? Especially if I can go first, right? I'm running a Timid set, so I know if they're running Timid as well, it's going to come down to a speed tie, right? Hopefully I can get the first shot on them, right? Once again, it's not going to take them out, but it's going to do like a lot of damage, right? So I go for my Dynamax Espeon, number 4 here. I've got all 4 on the floor. However, we got a light screen from the opposing Espeon. Oh, man, that sucks so much. Now my attacks are going to do very, very little damage, right? Because I've got that up. So look how much it did. It did nothing. I say without, I'm not so going to say I'm going to one-shot it, but it would have got very close to taking it out. And now, right, instead of me two-shotting it, it's going to take 3 hits to take out these Espeon. So effectively, they pretty much stalled out my entire Dynamax on my best Espeon set, which is bad, right? Because they're running very competitive sets, and I've just basically got hot steaming memes left, which makes things very, very difficult, right? Now they're going to swap their Espeon out again, because of course they're going to bring it back later on to set the screens up, and possibly win the speed tie again. So they went into their Poltergeist. That was actually an interesting swap there. I could have gone for another move there, but I guess they expected me to go for another Max Strike again, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to go for the Psyshock. I already know what they're going to do. They're going to go for the obvious Shell Smash set that is ever used by every single person. This is really bad because this thing can easily go for one Shell Smash and click Shadow Ball and win the battle, right? And I've had, look at this. I've had Espeon's actually accounted to an Espeon team. I've had Scizor, and now I've had Poltergeist. This is difficult, man. So here comes a Shadow Ball, and Espeon is going to go down. There is only one Pokemon remaining on my team that can stop this thing, right? The light screen has gone off at a very, very good time too. It is Espeon number 3 right now. I've got Focus Sash on this set. It's my only way to actually live this next attack. Otherwise, all of them would have got one shot, right? I've already used up my Dynamax too, so I can't just Dynamax to live a hit, right? So I'm going to be living on my Focus Sash there, go for Expanding Force, and that is going to be enough to take out the Poltergeist. Thank goodness, man. Now it's 3 heavy, heavy count. I feel like this person doesn't even need to Dynamax. Their team's like, not only is it competitive, they're full of counters too. So in comes this Espeon again. That felt so good taking that thing out because it had won all the speed ties earlier on. Goodbye. No more screens. Get out of here. I'm sick of those screens, right? I'm doing no damage into this. So 3 Pokemon down, and I'm actually winning at the moment somehow. Somehow I'm winning. So in comes the Swampert here, going for Expanding Force. It's really all I can do here to the Swampert. Swampert takes that easy. And it's going to go for a Flip Turn and bye-bye Espeon. It might be like an Assault Vest and a Swampert. I don't really know. I didn't really do a lot of damage there anyway, right? Swampert's got fairly good bulk to it, regardless. Now, the next Pokemon is Latias. Another great counter for my team, right? Judging on Espeon. Really, the only moves that can hit this with is like Shadow Ball, that's about it. Like, you can't really do a lot to Latias. They did a double swap and went into Noctowl. I was like, oh, Noctowl. I got to give them props using Noctowl. That's the first interesting thing they've kind of done so far. And I went for the trick on this one, and I gave the Noctowl a Choice Band, and I got a Zoom Lens. Zoom Lens is kind of interesting. Zoom Lens is sort of like Y Lens, but it's speed-based, and it's got a little bit more accuracy. But it is dependent on speed, so if you don't get the right speed, you will not get the boost in accuracy, right? So this is a Hurricane Noctowl. I went for 2 Zen Headbutt was enough to take it. I was like, that's nice. Like, even away, like giving away my Choice Band, I was just enough to take out the Noctowl there, which is good. I kind of thought I might miss the Zen Headbutt too. I was worried about that. Anyway, so going for a trick here. I wanted to see if this thing actually did have an Assault Vest or just get rid of a handy item. And it turned out it had a leftover, so I gave it a Zoom Lens there. Enjoy the Zoom Lens. Flip Turn. Flip Turn is going to be enough to take Espeon. Espeon's defense is trash, right? So I've got 2 more Pokemon left, and they've got a Latios and a Swampert. So, I mean, looking at this team, right, this is actually quite a hard team to deal with, and the sets too. So I was thinking, how will I be able to do this, right? So going to my Swagger Espeon, this is my Troll set. This is really my only hope to be able to, get rid of at least this Latios right here. So going for that Swaggerite, hoping they hit themselves in confusion. That's pretty much it. And they do. It's like, wow, that's really, really good. They may swap here. They may not. Then they outspeed me. It's like, okay, it's a speed type right now. And they went for a Calm Mind. This was pretty fun, right? This was actually really, really funny. So they probably thought, okay, I can set up Calm Minds all day against a set. That's fine. Then I can hit the Dynamax button and win. I went for the Power Swap here, so I actually got there. Not only did I get my attack boost, I got their Calm Mind boost too, which is crazy. So I got a +2 in attack, a +1 in special attack, and a +1 in special defense. That was wild there. Now they're going to have a Key Berry there, which is a little bit unfortunate. So now my physical attacks aren't going to be doing as much right there, and they're going to hit themselves in confusion again, which is very, very good. So I'm getting some very fortunate luck there. I mean, I kind of need it against their team, right? They got so many counters and competitive sets. So next Pokemon here is the Swampert. I went for the Payday just to show them the full set. I thought they'll laugh. They had to be a little bit salty right there after the Power Swap there. So now we're going to go for a Swagger on the Swampert. This is my only way to beat Swampert, right? This thing is going to be super bulky, and it's going to hit very hard. So hoping it hits itself, really, really hoping, and it's going to get through and go for Earthquake. I'm like, uh-oh, I'm going to definitely get destroyed by that. That is Stab on Swampert, and it's got +2. No way I'm living that one. So that is pretty much it for Espeon number 6. My last Espeon is number 2. Now, this was my bulky Espeon. The problem here, right, is my opponent already had +2 in attack. So I needed to get at least 2, I need to get 3 curses up to be able to withstand his attack. The problem about that is if I went for 3 curses, Swampert would even be able to outspeed me, right? Unfortunately, it's going to get through the Swagger once again and hits me very, very hard with the Earthquake. I did actually tank it out, which was pretty nice, so it's pretty impressive that Espeon would leave a +2 Earthquake, which is cool. Now I'm going to go for the Morning Scum here. I really needed them to hit themselves in confusion with Swagger. That's what I was waiting for, and then I could go for an additional Curse, and maybe I might be able to force a swap. I wasn't really sure yet. I was in a very difficult spot. However, they're going to go for another Earthquake. It's going to get around the Swagger once again, and my Espeon 2 is going to go down. But a crazy battle there, and I was pretty toe-to-toe with the competitive team there. Tommy T, if you ever watch this, I hope my team gave you a good laugh, man, and thank you for the battle. Peace out, people.